Good morning everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Our today's topic is capital structure. But before moving on to capital structure, let's quickly talk about what is the most important thing in carrying on any business activity. Students, the most important thing, the most important factor in carrying on business operations is funds or finance. Every organization needs finance to carry on its business properly and effectively. Students, but from where does the company raise its finance? There are only two sources through which finance can be raised. Number one is owner's fund and number two is borrowed funds. Owner's fund constitutes the fund which is contributed by equity shareholders, preference shareholders in the form of equity share capital, preference share capital, retained earnings including reserves and surplus. Owner's fund, that means the fund contributed by the owners of the company. We all know that equity shareholders are the owners of the company and the fund which is contributed by them is owner's fund. Next is borrowed funds. Borrowed funds is the amount which is borrowed by the company in the form of debentures, public deposits, loan from banks or financial institutions. Now students, from the term itself, it must be very clear that borrowed funds is the amount which is borrowed. If we borrow something from somebody, there is a legal obligation to repay that amount along with interest. Whether you are earning profits, whether you are incurring losses or whatever is your financial position, that is not a matter. What is important is the amount that has been borrowed has to be repaid along with interest, irrespective of whether the company is earning profits or incurring losses. But in case of owner's fund means the fund which is contributed by the owners of the company. Owners, equity shareholders are the owners of the company. Now students, the fund which is contributed by the owners, there is no legal obligation to repay that amount. There is no legal obligation to pay dividends to the owners of the company. Students, the shareholders or the owners have a right in the profit of the company. But it is the discretion of the company to declare dividends to the shareholders. There is no compulsion to pay dividends to the shareholders each year. Although companies do try to pay dividends because it helps in increasing the market value of the share. Now, capital structure is the proportion of debt and equity used for financing business operations. Debt means borrowed funds, equity means owner's fund. What proportion of both should be used in financing business operations? That is capital structure decision. So the capital structure decision involves two things. Number one, what kind of securities to be issued? And number two, what proportion of each securities should be issued? What kind? That means public deposit, debentures, equity. What should be the security? And number two, in what proportions? What should be the proportion? Maximum should be debt or minimum should be debt, maximum should be equity, whatever it is the decision which is taken under capital structure decision, and it is a very important decision of the firm. Now there are certain important points which need to be considered. Number one is debt is a borrowed fund and equity is owner's fund. With borrowed funds, we mean that the amount which has been taken, which has been borrowed, has to be repaid along with interest. Repayment of principal amount and payment of interest. Compulsory obligation on the part of the company. Whether the company is incurring losses, earning profit, that's not the point. The company has to repay the principal amount along with interest. When we talk about owner's fund, there is no such case in owner's fund because it is the amount which is contributed by the owners of the company. There is no obligation to repay the amount to the owners. There is no obligation to pay dividends to the owners of the company. Payment of dividends depends upon the profits of the company. If the company is earning sufficient profits, it may pay dividends. If the company is not earning sufficient profits or incurring losses, it may not declare dividends for that current year. Next is debt is cheaper as compared to equity. Why is debt cheaper and how is debt cheaper? The very first one is tax liability. Students, while computation of taxable income, the interest paid on debt is deductible as an expense. While computation of taxable income, interest paid is deducted as an expense. That means tax is not paid on interest on debt. Therefore, we are saving tax. If we are paying interest, we are saving tax. Simple. That means interest is saving your money. Paying of interest is saving your money. And when do you pay interest? If you have debt, if you have fixed liability in your capital structure, then you pay interest. That means debt reduces your tax. And when we talk about equity, in case of equity, we pay dividends, okay? And dividends are paid out of after tax profits. That means tax is already charged on the profit and then you pay dividends. That means in case of dividends, you have to pay tax. So you're not saving any money in case of payment of dividends. As a result, debt is cheaper. Number one. Number two, the lender's risk is lower as compared to the risk of the owners of the company. Who are the lenders? Those who have lended money to the company. Those who have given money to the company, they are called the lenders. Okay. For example, you have borrowed money from public in the form of debentures. Then debenture holders are called the lenders. Right? If you have borrowed money from bank, then bank is the lender. If you have borrowed money from financial institution, then financial institution is the lender. Now, consider yourself as a lender. Consider yourself as a debenture holder or a bank or a financial institution who has given money to the company. Now, from your point of view, it is a very simple situation. You know that you are going to get your principal amount back along with the payment of interest. If the company fails to do so, the company will go into liquidation. You know it very well. That means your risk, the risk of the lender, is lower. As a result, your expected rate of return is also lower. We have started it already that higher the risk, higher the gain. Lower the risk, lower the gain. Since you are bearing less risk, your expected rate of return would also be less. As a result, in case of debt, the company has to pay lower rate of return, lower rate of interest as compared to equity. Now students, let's change the scenario. Now consider yourself as the owner of the company. Consider yourself as an equity shareholder. You have contributed money to your company, you have given money, and now you're expecting the value of the market value of the share to increase and to get huge dividends, right? Now, since you are the owner of the company, you bear huge risk. How do you bear huge risk? You are unsure whether your market value will increase or not, market value of the share. You're unsure whether you will get dividend or not. You have no idea because there is no compulsion from the point of view of the company to repay you or pay you any amount, right? Since you are bearing huge amount as an owner of the company, a huge risk as the owner of the company, therefore the expected rate of return of equity shareholder or owner is high. As a result, companies have to declare dividends at a much higher rate. Okay, so usually the rate of return or rate of interest is lower as compared to rate of dividends. Dividends are usually paid at higher rates. So therefore, in this case also you can see that by having debt in the capital structure, companies saving money by paying less rate of return to in the form of interest, okay, and by reducing their tax liability, they are saving their money. While in the case of equity shares, if they are having more of equity in the capital structure, they have to pay tax also on dividends, number one, and number two, they have to provide dividends at a higher rate of return because equity shareholders are expecting much higher rate of return. Now, debt is more risky as compared to equity. Students, from a company's point of view, now consider yourself as a company. From a company's point of view, what is going to be difficult? Having more of owner's fund or having more of borrowed fund? If you borrow something from somebody, that is more risky because that is a legal obligation. You have to repay that amount along with payment of interest. So from a company's point of view, debt is more risky because the company has legal obligation. It has to compulsorily repay the principal amount along with the payment of interest. While this is not the case in case of equity shares. The company does not have to repay any amount. The company has no legal obligation to pay dividends every year. If the company has sufficient profits, it may declare dividends. If it does not have sufficient profits, it may not declare dividends. So the most important point here is increase of debt in the capital structure. Increase of debt in the capital structure increases the financial risk of the company. With more debt, financial risk of the company increases. This must be kept in mind. Now, a capital structure is said to be optimal, perfect, when the proportion of debt and equity is such that it increases the overall market value of these shares. Students, we all know that the aim, the objective of financial management is to increase the market value of shares. By market value of share means by increasing the wealth of equity shareholders, by increasing the wealth of the owners of the company. That is the main objective of financial management. So all the decisions aim at improving the market value of shares, aim at maximizing the wealth of equity shareholders. By wealth of equity shareholders, by wealth we means market value, increase in market value of shares. This can be understood with an example. Let us assume that the company has issued securities, issued shares for rupees 10. Okay, the face value was rupees 10, and today the value is rupees 25. Market value is 25. That means if the shareholder today sells it in the market, he will be getting rupees 25. Although he purchased it for rupees 10. So the difference, that is rupees 15, is the profit, is the capital gain which is earned by the shareholder. The main purpose, the overall objective of financial management is this only, to increase the money, the wealth in the hands of the shareholder by improving the market value of the share. So all the decisions that we have discussed, like financing decision, investment decision, dividend decision, or even the capital structure decision, all the decisions under financial management aims at improving or increasing the market value of shares, improving the wealth or maximizing the wealth of the equity shareholders.